What's up? How y'all doing out there? This Wednesday, we come to the close of another month. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. My Wednesday show edition. We're live every Wednesday, every Sunday. And on Wednesdays, we try to tackle something a little bit serious where we're going to talk real tonight. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it funky. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Lee Black, and I am the host of Real Talk Real Men. And we are live, and you can find us on the YouTube platform and on Facebook. We are part of the TFG TV platform of shows. In fact, you can go to YouTube, subscribe to TFG TV, and we are on TFG Uncut and Ratchet. That ought to tell you something. If you ain't ready for grown folks talk, this might not be the right place for you. We're going to keep it grown. We're going to keep it funky, but most importantly, we're going to keep it real. So let me introduce you to some people that come to have a little fun with us. My co-host from Memphis, Tennessee, this is Tasha McMack. What's going on, McMack?
Not anything at all. Trying to batten down. We had a whole bunch of bad storms that just came here. So I know people experience some tornadoes and stuff. So I hope everybody's being safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those out there experiencing inclement weather, definitely take cover, be safe, family first. If you can, enjoying us, we're going to bring a little bit of levity to your life, we hope, and a little bit of education. Let me bring in my brother from Dallas, Texas, Mr. Kenny himself. This is Mr. Sports, TFG Sports. What's going on, Brother Kenny?
What up? What up? How you guys doing?
Fantastic, my brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys, as always. Tasha, I was thinking about you too. I saw Memphis was supposedly in that area where it was going to be some really sticky weather.
Yeah, we got it. Nothing officially touched down here. We had like a lot of tornado warnings. I think it hit Whiteville, Tennessee, though. Out there where the prison is. I know that they got a tornado. So.
Oh, all right, well, good. Up. Good, you safe. All right.
She say, get you a bed warmer tonight, baby. Batten down the hatches. What's going on, Brittany?
What's up, Brittany?
Good to
What's
see
up?
You. Good to see you. I got my other brother in the house, and I'm so glad to see my brother up and moving around and feeling good. Mr. Bird from North Carolina. How you doing, brother? Hey, that's the smile we've been missing.
What's up, bro?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good to see you, my brother.
Doing good.
We missed you. We missed you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good to have you. Fantastic. Appreciate you. And then I got my big head sister from NYC. This is my better half. This is the better version of me. This is Miss Sherry in the Bronx. What's going on, baby sis?
What's up, everybody?
What up, Sherry?
Yes, sir. Good to see you, sis. As always. So if you got your health, we doing good. So fantastic. So good to have everybody. And as I said, we are part of the TFG TV platform. We got everything for you. But tonight we're going to talk about some real talk for real men type shit. And you can find us on YouTube on Uncut and Ratchet, TFG TV, Uncut and Ratchet. That's how we get down. Tonight, guess what we're talking about, folks? We're here to saying all the time that men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and we just can't get along. But we ain't got nobody else. But I want to talk tonight about some relationship myths because we've been saying this for so long until I wondered, is that really causing more of a divide instead of bringing us together? And I am guilty of this. I quote this all the time. And so I end up coming across a study that I hope you guys find as interesting as I did. And we're going to examine 6 myths. We're going to take 6 myths that deal with men, women, and relationships and put them under the microscopes. And we're going to do it like only we can do it. And we're going to talk about it the way we do it here on Real Talk. Let's jump right in this thing, y'all. Women are more romantic than men. Is that true? Is that true? Women are more romantic than men. I see the looks on your faces.
I would say, in a general statement, I would say that is some truth to that.
Okay.
I would say overall, yes. I would say that.
We got a yes from Brother Kenny. Who else? What would you say?
I would challenge that.
Come on with it now.
So the only reason why I would challenge it, are we saying in real application or in theory?
Ooh.
See,
Now you going now hold on.
That's a whole nother can.
Now
right
your
there.
educated ass gonna break out them $10 words already, and we ain't even got to the
No,
show.
no. The only reason why I say that is because I've said it before on another show that I feel like we as women, we romanticize things. So I know that we play, we have like a lot of thoughts in our head, but as far as application and carrying it out, I do think men do a better job at it.
What, damn it? You just made me cuss.
Now,
I think
definitely
I
why
have to. I think
hesitated.
I have to change. I might have to agree with Tasha.
That's why
Wow.
I had to hesitate at
Okay.
first, because to tell you the truth, men, we pretty much try to cater or think this is what a woman would like because we're hearing the things that they're talking about.
Okay.
So to me, I'm like on the side with Tasha. It's like maybe the application portion of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, everything is really predicated off of what women like, what we think they would like, what we hear the things that they
Very
like.
good point.
Very
Very good point.
Yes.
Very good point. Tasha, you might be changing some minds. I'm coming to you next.
Yeah, she
sis,
changed mine. She
because
did.
initially Brittany said yes, and with the explanation point behind it, but then she said, "Okay, Dr. Tasha, all right now, okay." You coming with it. Joseph, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, Joseph?
The link is in the column. We've been missing you too. You family, come on back. You still got a place at the table, my brother. But Joseph says, he actually says more women like the romance compared to men.
And I think that's what Tasha was saying.
That's what Tasha's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Kennard, invitations always.
What up, bro?
My brother. So Sherry, what do you think? You've been around a little while. You've been married a little while. Do you think women are more romantic than men?
I think so.
Okay.
I think women are more romantic than men. I mean, to me, women put more thought into that. For me, when a man usually does it, he does it well, but it's not more often than women. To me.
All right. I'm going to be sharing some takes from a psychological study. So this ain't coming from me. And again, we don't have to agree with it. But Tasha, you made a good point, because most romance novels and comedies and everything is pitched towards the female audience, which would have you believe that women have a stronger romantic side and outlook than men do. And so when you think about it from that statement, you hear statements like, there will only be one real love for me. And if I love someone, I love hard. And I want to make the relationship work. But according to this psychological study, it turns out that men typically outscore women on this measure. Men are also more likely than women to believe in the romantic notion of love at first sight. And so I love how you brought that to the home plate, Tasha. That in a theoretical sense, it sounds great, sis. That women put more thought into it. But when you start to really put it under the microscope, and I love the way you said it, Tasha, in practical application, sis, you alluded to that. When men do it, we do it big. And I'm going to prove my point to you, sis. Valentine's Day comes and goes. And what do you, I ain't going to start calling y'all nasty, filthy, no goods this early in the show. But I'm going to tell you.
Black, you are TFG Uncut and you on Ratchet. So you can go when you want to.
Hold it back. I'm trying to hold it in. You women, you ladies on Valentine's Day that comes every goddamn year, same day, it don't change. It don't never change. It's the same damn day. What do? Y'all sit and you want and you take and you think and you want and this and that. And what do you give? You want the big extravagant gifts. You want the man to put a lasso around the goddamn moon and pull it in for you. And what do you get, men? A funky pair of drawers or a tie.
Or just some sex.
I was gonna say that, or just pussy.
Just some sex. And happy Valentine's Day, baby. Like what?
And that's that same old pussy we've been getting all year. In fact, we just had that pussy too much. We coming out of winter. We done seen that pussy in every kind of way we could possibly have it. And that's all you got for us. I'm trying to tell you. So I definitely think this is a myth. This one is a definite myth when you put it under the microscope. We're going to move fast, y'all. Myth number 2, a mate's physical attractiveness is far more important to men than it is to women. And I love how the looks on your faces because you're thinking about this. So we always figured that men, we react on sight. This is what we hear, that we're visual creatures.
Mhm.
God knows, don't nobody love some big old pumping titties and a fat pumping ass like me. And the weather is so great here in Atlanta. I've been going out every day watching them nasty bitches up and down the street and in the grocery stores, and they got on next to nothing, and them ass is shining like nobody's business. I might catch a disease around this bitch. Them asses look so good. So visually, absolutely. But is this a myth? A mate's physical attractiveness is far more important to men than it is to women.
When is this study from?
Hannah, what y'all say? This is a recent study too.
Okay.
This is a recent. Good question, Tasha, because this is a recent study.
Okay.
Kadar says, "Wow, yes, sir, we going there today." Brittany said, "Yes, men fall in love with their eyes. Women fall in love with their ears. Both faulty attributes." I like your point.
Now, it's interesting how this question is worded, and
Go ahead.
It said the question is worded is a mate's physical attractiveness, is it far more important to men
Correct.
than it is to women's? But
Correct.
so it's not saying that it's not important to women. It's
Bingo.
asking, is it far more important to men? And I would have to say that I agree. I think it is far. I still think it's important to women, but I think men, it is
far more important to
men than women.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more important to men. I mean, look at it. You look at TikTok, Instagram. You see girls with their ass all out doing that lingerie. Everything on TV is all catered to men because that's what we like.
Okay.
We like what we see. So yeah, I think that we are more visual.
All right, ladies, what you got to say? Do you think this is true, that a mate's physical attractiveness is far more important to men than it is to women?
I think it's more important to women because women, when we looking at something, first of all we gonna check out your teeth. We gotta see how your butt look because nobody want no old saggy butt on no man. Your teeth gotta be looking right. Listen, I think women.
Sherry say women. Say women. Tasha, you've been thinking about this long and hard.
I'm gonna say I do think that this is true, but only in a 60-40% with men leading. I do think, and the reason why I say that is because I asked for the year that this was that the survey was conducted, because that does make a difference. Once upon a time, like your grandmother and even some of your aunts, they wanted an ugly man. And they would say that they wanted an ugly man. Don't get you the good looking man. Get you the ugly man because he's going to do everything for you. But nowadays, as we know, there have been a lot of conversations as far as social media goes with women putting more of an emphasis on the physical attributes of the men that they're choosing. They have to be of a certain height. Some of them are still going with a certain skin complexion. Some of them want them to have a certain beard, a hairstyle. So I do think it's still skewed more in the men's favor, but we are right behind, with the women.
Okay. So let me share some information with you guys because I'm going to be taking little snippets, and I will be glad to post this article if anybody wants to read it. But it talks about how, doing these studies, men and women were asked about which characteristics they preferred in a mate, and then of course it says that, that men always talked about, again, we rate physical appearance as more important than women do. However, upon closer examination, it revealed that both men and women think looks are important. So we're going to start there. Tasha, you said the 60-40. Men ranked looks on average as the fourth most important trait. Women ranked it at about sixth. So both genders ranked it highly. But here is where the important part comes in. But this data only speaks to what men and women claim they are looking for. Because when it comes down to what they actually choose, then it talks about how with women, physical attractiveness becomes the main characteristics, based on why the woman chose to date. And they did this in a study where they did the what you call that speed dating.
Mhm.
And before they did the speed dating, women talked about all of the characteristics that was important to them. You got to be funny, you got to be smart, you got to be this, you got to be that. And then during this speed dating, guess who they actually chose during the event? They chose men based on physical appearance, on physical attractiveness. And so I love the fact that it brought out that what they claim they're looking for versus what they actually choose are two different things. And that's why I've always said, you lying sons of bitches, you lying no good bitches, you know? Brittany said, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, Cardi and Offset. And so
but
Jay-Z
that's different, Brittany, because that's money.
No, I'm going here with this.
That's money though. They got money.
Thank you, because money can change looks.
Yeah.
We all know that Offset looked like a roach. We know Jay-Z looked like a goddamn camel, but Jay-Z's a billionaire. Offset slinging dick. And so that doesn't matter. And sis, what you say about women look at teeth and a nice butt, well, that would completely eliminate me. My big fat ass with missing teeth and my big mushy ass, they would never choose me. But I still get pussy of a fat man, and they don't have no problem getting it.
That's just stupid.
So I'm trying to tell you, you lying no good bitches you talking about. The reality is, when I invite them nasty no good hoes in here and I dim the lights just right, and I serve the right liquor, and I got that Johnny Gill and Keith Sweat and R. Kelly playing, I started looking just like Jamar Moore to them nasty no good bitches.
Now, Black, I will say this though, and I do think this. I do believe that an ugly man has a better chance of talking himself into pussy than an ugly woman into some dick.
Woo!
I don't know about that.
Woo! You
I
raising
do.
Tasha? So, Bert, I'm gonna let you go first.
I could agree with you on that, Tasha.
Wait a minute. Say that again, Tasha.
Say that again, Tasha.
I said I do believe that it would be easier for an ugly man to talk himself into some pussy than an ugly woman talking herself into some dick.
Yep.
Fellas?
Men,
What
we
you
got
say?
different breeds.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that,
I
Tasha.
do.
I don't know about
do.
that one, Tasha.
I know some guys that you would look at
I
and
believe
you'd be
that,
like, no
yeah.
way, and they got some skeletons up in there. They got something underneath their belt.
No,
When the lights go out, everybody's ready.
I'm not saying that that you haven't fucked ugly women. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I do think that women will actually overlook if a man keeps talking. If he has a good personality, they would be quicker to overlook his physical than a man looking at a woman. A man, if she's unattractive,
put it that way, yeah.
Who is a woman who's unattractive, who's talking to a man, he might need some liquid confidence or something else to endure that.
Yeah.
She has to have something else physically. Black, you have famously said it. She would have to have a fat pumping ass so you could at least turn her around. So she would still have to have something else. That's why. But for women,
But that's where the looks part. I fucked a lot of ugly women. I mean, some dog-headed bitches in my day.
I ain't did that.
I truly have fucked dog-headed bitches in my day.
No, I ain't did that.
I fucked handicapped women.
See, we're not getting ready to do that tonight.
Bitches with small arms. Some of them didn't have an arm or a leg. It was missing.
We're not getting ready to do that, Black.
That means, Kenny, you ain't never got no handicap. Y'all crazy on here.
But
what we were talking about.
But Tasha, you batting 3 for 3 because you right.
No,
I agree with.
I
agree with what you just said when you broke it down. Like you right, because I know me personally, I ain't. If she unattracted to me from the jump, it ain't enough liquor they got at the bar that's gonna make
Kenny,
you want to jump
brother,
in that.
you got standards. Kenny, you got standards. I don't have standards like that.
I just think of that scene in doggone Boomerang when Madam Eloise and Marcus.
Really?
Nah, man.
I would have beat the brakes off that old bitch in that scene. And when I thought twice about beating that pussy.
Peace be upon Eartha Kitt. Now I'm just saying.
Thank you. Lamar even says she can be butt ugly as long as that ass is right.
Nah,
Brother Lamar, that's what I'm talking about. on behalf of ugly women, I have to agree. Oh my God.
Stop it, Brittany. Would you?
Y'all stupid.
I'm just saying. To me, no. Tasha, you make a valid point, but I don't know.
I
Except,
agree.
except I'm gonna end it on this note before while we go to number 3. With this, I'm talking about my generation who love pussy. Now these new cats out here, they don't love pussy like I love. They don't love pussy like I love pussy. These new cats would rather spend time with their dog, rubbing on their car and playing video games and TikTok dancing with their friends. Damn all that shit. I came up in a time that if it ain't bringing you no pussy, then you throw it away.
You ain't never lied.
Black, you crazy.
I'm just saying.
They doing holy over hoes. No, that's not their argument.
Which brings us a nice segue into myth number 3. Myth number 3, but I want to leave comments out. Lamar says she got to have regular size arms, though. Damn, Lamar.
Only Lamar. That's you know what, bro. Now you know
Damn,
what,
Lamar.
log off, Lamar. You log off.
Lamar,
yeah,
when they do it with no hands, what she need her arms for? I don't give a damn about her arms or stribbled up hands.
Y'all doing
you
too
know what I'm
much.
saying?
When they do what with no hands?
Yeah.
That head game, and I know you ain't asking a question about sucking dick, cause you don't even suck dick, so you're a dinosaur. So we done buried you a long time ago on this subject. So I'm just trying to tell you. This leads us to number 3.
Wait a minute, I gotta ask that question. What do you mean by no hand?
Sucking dick without holding your hands, using neck action, sis. Get your phone out and look at some dick sucking scenes and get in the game. Sis, get in the game. I'm just gonna say. But anyway, let's go to myth number 3. Women aren't interested in casual sex. Is that a myth?
That's a myth. I think
that's a myth.
That's a myth.
What's up, Jenny from the block, the Bronx?
What up, Jenny?
Keeping in this joint. Oh my God, there you go, Lamar. Feet. You ain't now when you got somebody that's bent over like that. No, don't even get me started. We gonna go on to women aren't interested in casual sex. Brother Kenny, you were saying that's a lie.
Yeah, I think. I mean, is there an age group for this survey has been done? Does it say in this study what age group?
Yeah, no, it doesn't give an age group.
I would say no, because I think now we're in a time where women are the independent woman, and a lot of times they're like, yo, I just want to get broke off when I want it, and we ain't got to have nothing serious. So I definitely believe that's a myth.
Okay. Brittany seemed to agree, if I'm understanding her right. Women aren't interested in casual sex. Brittany say facts. Tell me, Brittany, if I'm reading your reaction wrong. She's saying she agreed with this, that women aren't interested in casual sex. What you guys got to say? Brother Kenny said that's a myth.
I think they are interested in
casual sex.
No, you got a whole lot of women that love casual sex. No strings attached.
Right. The myth is we hear all the time that
women
we as
don't,
men, that women ain't interested in casual sex. You know what? Right. Because you know what they say? I'm not gonna sleep with a man unless it means something. He gotta be my boyfriend.
Right.
We gotta be
right. No, that may have been a deal back 40 years ago, but it definitely ain't like that now. For sure.
Brittany said we ain't into that wham bam. Thank you, man. Brittany is saying she agrees with this.
Okay.
Women are not into.
I disagree. I just think I think women are more sexually liberated now, so they cool with casual sex.
Lamar's agreeing. He said they take pride in the wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Now,
I sure do.
Tasha, weigh in on this. I'm asking you to weigh in on this because you got a nice body count. Come on.
man, you done threw her up under the bus.
she knows we love.
See, and it's comments like that that get somebody slapped right there.
Right.
I'm fucking around. I don't give a fuck. No, for me, it's damn sure a myth. But I will say this. I initially I would say for most women it's a myth. However, there are some women that share the same views as Brittany that are adamant that they can't engage in the casual sex. Now, a lot of them do unknowingly because they think that they're in something committed. But I do think that there is some truth to this.
Okay. I like your point. Hannah says, shoot, everyone don't want a commitment.
That's true.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Brittany says, and that's why I don't come home with y'all.
What?
Brittany, I wouldn't do you like this. I wouldn't do you like this, baby. I promise. Okay, so let me share some comments about this. This study talks about the reason why this myth has persisted is because socially it's more acceptable for men to admit that we readily are interested in casual sex. Now, I agree, things are changing, but it's still socially unacceptable for women to just come out bluntly and admit that they have an interest in casual sex. Now, that don't mean that they don't do it, as we are well talking about, because it talks about how women to be interested in casual sex, the circumstances need to be right. It's not that they're uninterested, but it says that they are pickier about whom they choose in which to tryst. And so it goes on to talk about the one-time sexual offer from a celebrity or a friend that's rumored to be good in bed. It lists those types of things that could obviously convince a woman to, I'm going to try it. I surmise, number one, that is definitely true, everything that's said in that study. But I think, again, if we were talking about this study 25, 30 years ago, that statement would be absolutely true. I've been saying this for a while now. Women, somebody said earlier, they take pride in doing this, Their body count is as high as ours. And I've been saying for my whole adult life, don't ever ask a woman how many men she slept with. She only going to tell you about the guys she liked.
That's true.
She not going to tell you about the miscellaneous dick. I got a woman that I love. And if she watching this show now, I loved her. Beautiful, sexy, clean. Now, when we went our separate ways, every time we talked, there was a new soldier in that pussy. Now, she prefaced it by saying that I was dating him or it was my boyfriend and this and that and everything. And the more we talked, there was always a new boyfriend, when it got to the point where, damn, how many damn people you dating out there? The reality is, just be honest. You like to pin your legs clear back behind your ears, just like the rest of these hoes do. And I would have respected it 1,000 times more if you just said that. But my thing is, women like to dress it up with reasons. And I'm going to tell you, in 2022, these nasty bitches don't need no reasons. They will suck and fuck some dick, and they don't even want you to wash the dick. So how you going to talk about, have reasons? They like your dick and balls just as musty as they come, and they climb on top and have as good a time as they can get into it. I'm just trying to tell you, Brittany, and these are not exceptions to the rules. These nasty bitches, you can throw a rock and get some free pussy quicker than I can go out and get me a beer. I can literally walk outside right now and walk around for an hour and drag a nasty, no good bitch up here, and she won't even know my name. They don't even ask for your name. For the years I was out there, I had a big bowl of condoms sitting in plain sight. Nary one of them Flintstone-footed bitches ever asked me to put a condom on. I stuffed myself deep inside their head and tail as raw as I can get it, and that's why I had chlamydia 4 times. Them nasty bitches owe me some money.
Well, we had a nice run with the show, so this will probably be our last show.
Yeah, I think this might be the last. Yeah, we want to say for all that's viewed, thanks for coming to TFG Uncut and TFG Ratchet. This is it. This will be the only show that you can play back.
No, I'm getting hot under the collar because shit like this gets me hot. Brittany said we all know Atlanta. This ain't Atlanta. I only been living in Atlanta like a few years. This is Atlanta, Memphis, Texas. Once upon a time I had holes in area codes. So, and I feel like I can go right there now. It don't matter where you're at. The game don't change. The players change. The game is the same. The devil don't have to change his tricks. You know why? Because them bitches work. He been getting angels to come down to get this pussy from the beginning of the time. And if he can entice perfect human angels to come get this pussy, what chance do I stand? What chance do I stand? What chance do you ladies stand? I'm just trying to tell you.
You're going to hell.
Just simple, just
Oh, Uh,
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
all went
saying.
off the track.
Myth number 4: men and women have fundamentally different personalities and orientations towards relationships. Think about that for a second. Men and women have fundamentally different personalities and orientations towards relationships. Now, it talks about how this myth is perpetuated in popular media. Because when we look at the best selling book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, the argument argues that we are so different that we might as well be from different planets. How true is this?
That's that man. There's so much to unpack with this one. Be honest with you, because it kind of depends on your experience. What are you looking for in relationships? How you were in your previous relationships? I mean, there's so many things, but just to give a blanket answer on this, I think we do have fundamentally different personalities in regards to relationships. I think men and women, we do have what we want. What we want from a relationship is going to be totally different a lot of times.
Okay. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, I agree. Like with the basis of it, like what our role is in a relationship, what a woman's role in a relationship. I think together we understand that, but I do think there's somewhat of a divide as far as what we think in terms of relationship and what a woman would think in terms of a relationship. You know what I mean? And it don't have to be anything like almost polar opposites. It's just that we might just come from a different aspect than the way a woman would. You know what I mean? How the way they view how the way things should be than how we view how the way things should be.
Absolutely. Very, very good points. Sherry, what do you see on this one? The fact that men and women have fundamentally different personalities and orientations, things that they like towards relationships. How do you break that down in terms of how a man's and woman's personalities differ? You think there's a wide chasm there?
Yeah, I think men and women do, you know, have different personalities towards relationships and things. Like, it just depends on um like how you got into the relationship and what y'all talked about in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because usually a lot of women are try to fill a man out and see they got the same qualities as them what they looking for in a relationship. So it depends. That's kind of a hard question.
Okay. Tasha, what do you say on this one?
I've been just sitting here just rereading it over and over again.
Hmm.
Fundamentally different personalities and orientations. I think that we all want the same thing if we took all the extra shit out of it. If you took out all of the, well, I'm looking for a person who is going to be a provider, or is going to make X amount of money, or is going to do this, or I need someone who's going to be like this. Fundamentally, if you broke it down, we all are looking for someone to love, respect, honor, cherish. You're looking for a partner, fundamentally. So I would say that I don't agree with that.
The study agree with you, Tasha, 1000%. And on its surface, I was like everybody else. Yeah, I think about my personality, on a serious note, where I am at my place in life, and everything you guys said is true, it's valid.
Yeah.
Sherry, what you initially talk about on a relationship, what you say you want, what period you are in your life, all of that's really, really true. So I'm not discounting any of that. But Tasha makes a valid point that once you strip away the things that's really not important, where he got to be so tall, or or she got to be, even my thing about a bud and this and that, much as I love that and this and that, and he got to make X amount of money. Tasha is really right. The study goes on to kind of break down that in reality, there are way more similarities, in terms of what individuals want. When you strip away that they're both the same. Both men and women rate kindness and exciting personality and intelligence as the three most important characteristics in a partner. And how I know that's kind of true is we did shows, where we kind of rated celebrities, and we asked women on those shows that, would you choose somebody who's funny or rich, blah, blah? And it was very revealing how much humor, how important that was to women. You know, somebody that could make them laugh, you know. And then I think about relationships that I see people in, and even right here on this panel, and you hear women and men talk about, I mean, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Brother Bert, for example. I think about your relationship, how you talk about how she lets me be me. And she talks about how you make her feel safe coming from what she was into. So when you strip away the other things, it becomes remarkably similar what we're actually looking for. And Tasha, like you said, at the end of the day, you really just want somebody that gets you. You know, Kenny, you say that all the time. I want somebody that gets me. You really want somebody that just gets you, that allows you to be your authentic self, whatever that is. So earlier when we looked at couples like Offset and Cardi B and Jay-Z, the money is a factor, no doubt about it. But you know what? Clearly they're staying together because personality-wise, some way in that they found that they do want the same things, family, you know, they can cope with whatever those challenges are with fame and riches the same. At the end of the day, you stay with somebody because they make you feel loved, safe, and appreciated. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Brittany said, how old is Tasha? She knows too much.
Well, but
I'm
you know,
thir-
but you know, yeah, she do
I'm
know a lot. You're
33,
right,
but
Brittany.
I'm 65 at heart, really.
And you
But
active,
you,
and you damn
yeah,
sure active.
but you know, brother Black, the thing about this myth, man, this really you could really do a show on this because what you just was talking about, how what people want in a relationship, men and women, is basically the same. But to me, this question is asking about the fundamentally your personality and orientation toward a relationship. So to
Right.
me, that's saying like, what is you personally? It ain't got nothing to do with what you're looking for. It's just how do you approach relationships through your personality and orientation.
I got you.
In my opinion, I think we do approach them differently
Wow.
when it comes to our personality and orientation. Now, what we want in a relationship,
Right.
I think is fundamentally the same, but how we approach it,
I
I
agree
think is different.
1,000%. I agree
So,
1,000%.
That's what I was getting ready. That's what I wanted to jump on. It's the
Mhm.
stripping away because you
yeah,
know if you're a woman, you might want somebody that looks good. You want the big arm and stuff like that. But as you get to know that person, then you're like, you know what? I don't
yeah,
need this. That's when the
right,
stripping starts
right,
to happen. When you go into it like this is what I want, but then after you see the person and talk to them and all, then that's when the walls start coming down and your
Absolutely.
preconceived notions start to change.
right,
So
and
we
then
still do go in the beginning portions of it, but I think as time moves on, then that's when we're like, we didn't really
yeah,
need all that.
right,
A- a-
This is what I really need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in full disclosure, I'm a damn fool, but this one right here, what you just said, that's actually been the secret to my success. I've never been the super fine dude. Never. Even when I was thin and athletic, you know, I wasn't ugly, but I was never the guy that they was ready to drop their drawers for because, oh my
yeah.
God, Black walked in the room, you know, and this is even when I had an
Most men,
athletic body.
most of us can say that. I know me
But I'm
too.
saying,
So
but
I
I
get it.
also had friends that I'm sure you
Yeah,
guys have had friends
yeah.
that you
They
hung
ain't
with
have to
that,
do
damn,
nothing.
they're
They ain't
babe
have to do
magnet, you
nothing.
know. So
Yep.
I was
Man, you
never that
should.
guy. I was never rich. I never
Me.
had a real fancy car. So, so what you saying, Bert, is so true because I always use an analogy. When I used to club, I used to call myself the king of clubs. So people call me that. If I went in a club and I would get there about 9:30, Tasha, you know, was a clubber with me. She know we get there about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Perfect time when it's not too early and it's kind of
Mhm.
getting set up. We get us a seat. And a funny thing would happen is as I'm sitting there, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now you see guys coming in and walking around, and it would be brothers that women is just fawning all over. I mean, the tall, big shoulders, they dressed in just right. They got the bottle of whatever in their hand. They're getting all the attention. By 11 o'clock, the funny thing about it is that first hour, nobody looks my way. I'm sitting in my little corner, smoking my black and mild, drinking my drink. They ain't paying attention to me. About an hour in, a funny thing happens is that beauty fades. It truly does. That guy that's got the designer outfit on and all the right clothes and the big chain and everything, as he's walked around and made himself seen all over the club in that hour, Sherry is exactly right. Women start to look beyond the looks at that point because now they're looking at to see if his shoes match his outfit. When he smiles, is his teeth just right? When he hanging and leaning all over them, trying to get a drink into them, they're saying his breath stinks. When he opens his mouth and talk, they realize he's not as bright as they thought he was. And women start to strip that stuff away. And a funny thing happens. 11:30, my stock is rising in that club and theirs just going down. By the time we get to midnight, and now we in the full swing of the club scene, now those women are sitting back and there's the guy that been sitting in the corner and he's went to the bathroom a couple of times. Oh, and by the way, when he passed me, damn, he smelled good. And he might not be the finest dude in the club, but I like his style. He ain't been leaning all over me all night. He haven't been chasing every skirt in the place.
You
When he
slide
did
dog,
dance,
you.
he had that was the secret of my success. Tasha
You
knows this for a
slide
fact.
dog, you.
I said God's honest truth is because when you strip it away, then it comes down to something else is attractive. And lo and behold, by the time it's time to shut this club down, I'm dragging something home, you know. And that's really been the thing. I've done it, but the devil don't change. I've done it a million times. And that's really so true when you strip it away. But the approach, like you said, Brother Kenny, is very different, you know. So absolutely, it's so true. Let's move on to number 5, guys. Men and women have fundamentally different ways of handling conflict. Men and women have fundamentally different ways of handling conflict.
On the heels of the Oscars.
Oh, shit. What do you guys think about this one? Before I go, Cologne is under. Brittany,
I've heard that.
Again,
yeah.
one of my secrets.
We know you're right, Brittany.
Good smelling. I've heard of that because I've had women friends my whole life. You know what y'all all say? It ain't nothing like a good smelling man.
Smelling man. I've heard that many, many times.
You know, and that has never failed me, even at this stage of my life now. When I go down and check my mail, I've had women. I'm in the mailbox, and I've had women say, "Excuse me." This happened to me last week in the grocery store. A couple, a man and a woman, they said, "Excuse me, man, what's that you got on?" It's nothing like the sense of smell and a good cologne. And I wear oils which last longer. You know, I'm already fat and now I'm ugly. I'll be damned if I'm a stink. But anyway,
boy, you a mess, bro.
I'm just saying, you gonna give me that. When my ass come out this sea, the funk ain't gonna follow me to the kitchen. At least I wash my ass every night. I'm just gonna tell you that. What do you think about how men and women handle conflict? Are we fundamentally all that different?
Hell yes.
Okay.
Hell yes, we are that different. I would even say, and it goes even further within women. Some of us are far more confrontational than others. Ooh. It's the level of patience that you have, or even, just a lot of it also stems to how you were raised and how you were allowed to express yourself coming up. So yeah, we're different. Yeah, you may want to solve it, but the method in which it gets solved is going to be different.
Okay. I'm going to challenge that one right there and say that's why I think we're actually the same. For that reason, I'm glad you brought that up, because men, I think, get a bad reputation and have gotten for so long that we're violent, that he always want to fight, blah, blah. And I've been saying this for 20 years. Going to a movie theater, going to a restaurant, going to a club. You know what? It's no longer the men that's the violent ones. It's the women that's creating all of the noise. We got videos where it's much easier to break up a fight between guys. I mean, guys could be going at it. You hold them back, it kind of ends. Try to break up a fight between women. They don't want to let it go. It keeps going. The violence, the mob mentality, they're far more similar to what is normally attributed to men in violence than we really want to admit, in my opinion. No,
what
ahead,
I was referring to specifically wasn't necessarily violence. It's just confrontational, even in the manner of how you address it initially. you approach it immediately.
that I
Some
agree.
with
Yeah.
aggressive, just
Now I
aggressive
agree.
speaking
I
and just
agree.
yelling.
I agree.
So
I agree. I absolutely agree with you.
Yep,
Welcome, Hannah.
because
Hey
Brittany
y'all.
says, "What's up, Hollywood? Hollywood."
I, I would say in this question, to be honest with you, yeah, that's not a myth. Men and women, we are different when it comes to handling conflict. So I don't think that's a myth. I think that's true. I think men and women, we do handle conflict differently. I think men are not really as confrontational as most people think we are. I think women can be a little bit more confrontational than men are when it comes to handling conflict. So I think this is I think it's not a myth. I think this is true. I think we are fundamentally different. So
Absolutely, Hannah. What you got to say on this?
Um, we are different in many ways because we are emotional. However, I do
mhm.
agree with Tasha as far as sometimes the aggressiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do know once we get to that point, the argument is not going to end until, we say what we have to
Mhm.
say, whether it's in a calm tone, a loud tone. Me personally, I'm going to say what I got to say. However, I do agree that we do handle things different, but I think that's a good thing because you don't want to have a debate. I'm not going to say argument because everybody doesn't have arguments. Sometimes it's just a debate. It doesn't have to get that crazy. I think it's good that we're different because you don't want to have a debate with someone just like you or given the same views because you'll never accomplish anything if everyone is just on the same page all the time. Someone has to be just slightly different. I'm not saying so far off the cusp, but just slightly different.
A great points. Brittany says men are usually the more calm ones in the relationship,
That's
and
true.
that's remarkable to hear women admitting this. And I thank you, ladies, for really bringing this to the forefront because
Especially
it is
right.
still such a myth that when the cops
Mhm.
show up, the assumption many times is that the guy is the aggressor. You look, we're bigger, blah blah blah, and our voices are heavier. And so I'm glad to hear women kind of admitting this.
Yeah, me too.
That's really refreshing. This study,
Mhm.
it kind of talks about a dynamic that happens in relationships where it talks about the demand withdrawal pattern and when it comes to conflict, that when somebody demands and the more they demand something, the other person tends to withdraw just to avoid the debate, you know. And the cool thing about this study is it says that gender really has nothing to do with it because really it comes down to who wants to change. When the issue on discussion is a change, under discussion is a change the woman wants, then the woman is likely to take the demander role. And so I love that they made that point because a comedian talked about one time that Dave Chappelle famously said that whenever his wife says, Dave, we need to talk. He said that means that it's some shit that I gotta change, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And it was a cool
Yeah.
joke, but it was a
Yeah.
lot of
But it's the
truth
truth
to
in
it.
that.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of truth to it because
Mhm.
we all been in relationships where
Right.
we know that
We
look and we
right.
know that
No, that
tone.
right.
You know,
Exactly.
that's
Yep.
Hannah smiling, Sherry's nodding her head
Yep.
because
We
y'all
know.
know y'all can do that. I need to talk to you about something.
Yep. We know.
And as men, we know in that moment. Oh,
You're like,
Hmm.
you know
oh
what I'm
shit,
And here we go.
bullshit.
Here we go. Here we go.
because it's
that's
something that
Exactly,
they want
brother.
us to
Here we
change.
go.
But it could be something
that's
so small, and y'all
I'm
take it
just saying.
so.
I'm just saying.
But it could be.
It's a
But y'all, when
delivery,
y'all do
though.
that, we like, oh boy,
And so we
here we
withdraw
go.
so
Hmm.
because
don't say that anymore. So we're not gonna. So I don't do that. This is what I say.
damn.
I preface it like this. So I have a question. That's
Oh,
how I preface
That's
it.
fucked
I
up.
say
That's
So I
so
have
breakups.
a
fucked up.
question.
That's so
That's
fucked
what
up.
I say, Tosh. I say exact.
That's so
I got a
fucked up.
question for you.
Yeah, that ain't cool either.
That's fucked up.
And that still don't make a difference. We still like, oh
Right,
shit.
right.
You know. But this is real. But there you go. We're gonna go to our last one, which is ended on a really, really, really important one. Physical abuse in relationship is almost always committed by men.
Mm.
I see your face, Bert. I see your face, Kenny. Physical abuse, because Lord knows this. I just talked about when the cops show up, and we as men. Let me say this while you ladies think about this too. It's nothing like running upon a fighting couple. We immediately fear for the woman. When you see a guy raising his voice and calling a woman all out of her name in the street, something inside of you wants to jump in because you fear for her safety, and especially if the guy's towering and big over her. And so that truly has perpetuated the myth that physical abuse, because let's face it, some of you ladies could fight and all that good stuff, but men are biologically stronger than you. They're just biologically stronger than you. Now, if you towering over your man, and we do see some women go out and get the puny man or whatever, but in reality, if that man really wanted to go there, he could hurt you. He could hurt you. So what do you think about this myth that physical abuse in relationships is almost always committed by men?
I don't think so, because I know a lot of women be the one that a lot of time they start the shit. Because women don't understand, some of them, they don't know how to shut the fuck up. They start them, they sometimes they start the argument, then when a man go there, they can't handle it.
Spoken from our resident man abuser on the panel.
Yeah, damn.
The truth.
I knew he was going to say that.
I knew he was too.
Keep it real. Sherry's always talking about going upside somebody's head and whooping somebody's ass.
Yeah.
So she knows. She and I've had these conversations. And again, I think,
and we're not making light of that, people.
No,
viewers. We're not making light of that.
In fact,
because we were laughing, but I won't hold those as viewing. We're not making light of it.
I want to show you how much I don't make light of it. My sister can tell you right here on this panel. What do we talk about, Sherry? That you can't do that. That's not right. You got to curb that behavior, because here's the reality. Oh no, my sister has toned this shit down 10,000%. I give her credit. I seriously, from when we started this show, I give her credit, because we've had these conversations, because here's what I shared with my sister. The reality is, where you might be lumping somebody up, but I'm going to say it again, that's a man. And if he really wanted to go there, he could hurt you. Because a lot of times, even when a man is in a physically abusive relationship, he's taking it because he don't want to go there. You know what I'm saying? My mother was in a 30-something year relationship where she abused, the guy she dated. This was the most mild, meek man that I ever met in my life. And I love me some Eloise Young, but I would have knocked her little head off her shoulders, because of the shit she said.
I toned it down, brother, but I Juanita got an ice pick, a little one, at mama house for me, because that's going to be my, just in case.
See? Brittany says, most definitely, domestic violence is usually committed by men. Brittany, Brittany, I think that's really changing. But go ahead, Hannah.
I'll say this, and I'm speaking from experience, so I'm only saying it. I know verbally we do have a lot to say, but going through domestic violence, me personally, I do think, and it's not all the time. Most of the time, I feel like it is the man. Yes, there are a group of women who show their ass and hit on men, and some men don't want to admit it because people would think you less of a man, which is not true, because abuse is abuse either way. But me going through it, and even sometimes not even opening my mouth and still having to deal with it, I'll say that. And I have two of my friends who went through it that I didn't even know until years later.
Right.
Not even knowing. So I'm not going to say that it's always a man, but most of the time, and I can say this, sometimes people think, because we do have a lot of mouths, because I know me, I'm calmer. I got better, right? I got better than my mom. I got better.
Bert went to a safe place.
My mom used to be like this. What? No. So I understand that sometimes people feel as though we say a lot, but talking a lot of stuff out your mouth does not equal let me go inside your head.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes people try to switch between domestic violence and verbally saying something. It's two different things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what I take on it.
And I respect again. I love you guys as a couple. You just got to
Me
know.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Y'all like one of my favorite
Yeah.
couples on this
They
fucking
in
earth.
my top. They in my top
I
10.
love you
I need to
guys
do
as
a top
couple.
10 list. I need to
I'm
do a top
serious.
10 of
I'm
Kendrick's
serious.
favorite couples. I need
Y'all
to do
so
that.
real and just in the dynamic. I just love it. I appreciate you guys more
For
than you know.
sure.
And I want to ask Tasha a question because I agree. I agree with you, Hannah. I still think by and large, men do are the biggest abusers. And especially for reasons you just named. Yes, a woman might smart up with the mouth. That is no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. You're not her parent. You're not her owner. So she can say whatever the hell she want to say. So that's no excuse. And I want to ask Tasha a question on this. Do you think, Tasha, that's why we're seeing a dynamic that you were telling me about where a lot of women now are choosing, how did you put it, men that have feminine tendencies, but they're men, there's a new dynamic that's happening.
Oh yeah, so there's this. Okay, so they have like this new relationship turn. It's called spicy straight. So it's still a man and woman, but the woman is more masculine and the man is more feminine. But they're calling it spicy straight. It's very interesting. But I wanted to say to this, I think for this specific topic, physical abuse in relationships is almost committed. I think the numbers are skewed. I think it's reported physical abuse.
Good point.
I and that just listening to Hannah, because to Hannah's point, and we have stated this before, a lot of men are going to admit that they're being physically abused by women. And I'll say this too, where as women, even if you don't hit that person physically, if you throw something at them, that's physical abuse.
Right.
I wouldn't have thought about it that way, but
Right.
that is true.
Right.
And I'll say this.
where that happened to, where and they just looked at it, oh, she's just being a certain way, because like
Yeah, that's kind
a
of how
lot
we
of
look
times
at
when
it.
women,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, when you have a lot of times when women are being physical with the man, they're not demonized as a man, and that's just because,
That's
like you were saying,
beautiful
that
point.
because biologically we're physically stronger.
Beautiful point.
So it's like, oh, you can handle that. Oh, you just gotta get her in check.
Beautiful point.
Beautiful point.
So
You're right.
I mean, I knew a lot of brothers, I mean, including myself. I mean, a lot of brothers don't know what I've been through in a couple of relationships with a woman being physical like that, and knowing that you can break her, but that's not your style. So you just trying to break away from it. So I think, like what Tyler's saying, I think the numbers, if there are some numbers out there, I think that if we all just came out and say something, including men, I think that number would really be a
little bit more. Beautiful
than
point.
disparaging, like that men are just doing. I'm not saying that men don't. There's a large segment of men that do it.
I still think
there's a large segment of women that do it also. But it's just
I agree with everything Bert said. You hit it on a point.
I'm
But I
looking
think
for the
I
women
think
that
one
do.
thing that one thing that me and we do is we say if a woman crazy, for some reason we like that.
Exactly.
And that totally flips it. He's oh, she crazy. Yeah, she gonna get bucked and whatever. But yeah, I love that crazy pee is that best pee and all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But then she doing all kind of crazy tactics that's really abuse, but we kind of just laugh it off and don't even look at it that way.
I was ever attracted to that. I like a little bit of crazy and a little bit nutty, but not violence.
I'm not shocked.
No, but I'm saying not violence. I grew up in a household with a lot of violence. Sherry and I grew up in a household with a lot of violence. And I was a scary kid. Sherry was a fighter. We had big jaws of lie at the door, golf clubs, sticks with nails nailed to them. Sherry, we grew up in a really violent. Our brothers and sisters fought every damn day, and it was a terrible thing to come home from school and you walking with a friend, and you get to your block and like, oh shoot, Gene is fighting, and sometimes you got to turn, and the damn person he fighting, my friend is his brother. Now you got to almost damn fight with each other. My mother would be fighting, my grandmother would be fighting. So as a kid, I was a very scary kid. So I detest violence. I've never been in a violent relationship. I've only hit a woman one time in my life, 17 years old. Slapped a young girl named Cleo. She slapped the tar out of my ass, and that was the end of that experiment. I didn't like how it felt. If I was gonna be popping her and he was gonna hit me back, nobody told me that she was gonna hit me back and shit. And so I knew in that moment that this was never gonna be for me. So even when I've had relationships that if there was a threat of it getting violent, I got out, because that wasn't gonna work for me. I like a little crazy. I don't even mind a little loud talking, because you can actually act the damn fool in all them rooms. Only the boss only count in one room. I get that ass in that boudoir.
Yeah,
I'm
boy.
God.
I knew it was
I
coming.
know it's coming.
That's when I'm God. I'm God in that goddamn room. I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, this has been a fantastic show. And if you enjoyed this content, you can find us again on TFG TV, on YouTube and Facebook. And if you see how we talk, find us on TFG TV Ratchet and Uncut.
There
And I'm
you
gonna
go.
turn these last couple of minutes over to the golden voice of Mr. Kenny to tell us where you can find all the content.
You already done did it. My man Black, he got it. Now, yeah, this show right now on Sundays and Wednesdays with the co-host, Miss Tasha, and Brother Black. You can find him on TFG Uncut and on TFG Ratchet. Remember, we need you guys to go to TFG Uncut, TFG Ratchet on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you can get Lee's channel as well on YouTube. It's still there as well. Make sure you subscribe and all that and share that on Sundays and Wednesdays. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central here, and then on Sundays at 5 p.m. Central. Now, on Thursday nights on TFG Forgive Us Later, their own channel, you can find Lamar, you can find DJ Sullivan, you can find Charles Moore. You're getting a male perspective on whatever the hottest topics is going on in celebrity news, entertainment, sports at 7:30 p.m. Central. Again, that's TFG Forgive Us Later, their own channel on YouTube. On Friday, The Real Estate Insider with the Black Robin Leach. That is Lamar. You can catch him. He goes live at 8 p.m. on Fridays. He's going to take you through celebrity homes. He does that on Fridays at 8 p.m. Central. He also does that on Sundays at 7 p.m. Central. Again, on the Real Estate Insider channel, which is on YouTube. Again, now on Sunday at 8 p.m., Late Night with Lamar Levity and the crew. Rosanda Mitchell, Dwayne Martin, Charles Moore. They giving you the latest and greatest what's going on in entertainment, sports, and the hot topics. You can catch them at 8 p.m. Central on their own channel, TFG Late Night with Lamar on YouTube. On Monday nights, you can find boy Kendrick and that guy over there, Lee Black, on TFG Tonight with your host, Brenton Hayes, 8 p.m. Central on TFG Tonight channel, and that's on YouTube. We're talking politics. We're talking whatever's going on in news, entertainment, and a little sports. And we got Devin Devine that's digging in somebody's business. So we're going to give you a little bit of hot tea as well. On Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m., you can catch your boy, TFG Sports Media, 6:30 p.m. on YouTube. I'm giving you the hot takes, giving it to you straight with no chaser on what's going on in sports. And just make sure you come to TFG TV. We got a plethora of shows. I guarantee you'll find something that will entertain you. Back to you, Lee.
Bam. Beautiful. And so if this is your first time, every Wednesday, every Sunday, you can find Tasha and us live. This ain't rehearsed. We don't make a plan. This is off the cuff. It's real. It's raw, but it's conversation that we need to be had amongst grown folk. And so until we see you on Sunday, which we keep it a little bit lighter, everybody out there, enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe, be good to each other. And as always, keep it real.
Love, peace, and soul.